welcome to B&B Gaming PodBytes, or rather the other way around, PodBytes B&B Gaming's podcast. This is episode 22, I believe, today.
Yep.
And we're recording a little bit late. Not that anybody's really watching the calendar, waiting for a new episode of PodBytes on the edge of their seat, but we meant to record several days ago, and it's kind of been pushed back due to schedule conflict. So anyway, I've got two of the team here with me. Rexley Penaflorida the second, and
Hello.
hello, and Sean Joshi.
Yep. I love how you say that
By the way,
with this degree of trepidation. You're just
Yeah.
let's just guess at his name.
I've asked you before, and it occurred to me as I was saying it. I'm like, damn it, I don't remember.
Good job. It
So
really means a lot to me.
Sean, Sean Joshi,
Yes.
nice and strong and confident. You like that?
Rhymes with
I
Yoshi.
fucking love it.
I
Oh,
mean,
he's bringing up Yoshi. We've talked about this before, but I don't think he was here.
no,
Uh,
that's what I said. I said something similar.
yeah, you could call me Yoshi. People in high school did. Some of them never lived to tell the tale, but yeah, you can call me Yoshi. I'm fine with that.
Well, unless you have some kind of, unless you discovered some way to get at us through the digital airwaves, I think we'll be okay. Well, I might not be. I live pretty close to you.
Yeah, I think you're like an hour, 2 hours away or something.
How far? Well, not that this is really gaming related, but how far in the north of Florida do you live? Because I think we're the only two, well, at least here, U.S. stateside, that live in any kind of proximity to one another.
Well, here's my question. Does Rexley live in Florida? Because his name's got Florida in it. So I don't
You're the-
know.
Let's just say that I own Florida. How about that?
Just say.
Okay. You just own it. That's awesome. All of iDrive, all that shit, you just own it. That's awesome.
We could just
But,
say a bunch of other stuff too, but let's just say that.
Yep. But to answer your question, I live just north of Orlando, like 10, 20 minutes north.
Oh, no kidding.
So,
No, I thought you were way far. That's not exactly coming out in proper English. I don't know what I'm thinking there. I thought. Yes, join us on PodBytes as we discover the ropes of proper grammar usage. Not
and
much.
geographically, clearly.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. You are really close to me. I got to be careful what I say to you from now on.
Yep.
Especially because I drive up there or close to Orlando, maybe 30, 40 minutes away from it, like every other week. I'm always kind of in that area, south of it though, or kind of like southwest. So yeah,
I think we can both agree that Florida sucks, though. Like, I hope we can at least agree on that.
I can't even agree. I do not agree with you on that because to me that's just not a strong enough word to describe how I feel about it.
Is there any word in the English dictionary? Probably not.
Probably
But
is, but since I can't even put a simple sentence together today, I won't try to express how I truly feel. No, I wholeheartedly disagree. It does not suck.
man,
Much worse.
I just don't like the heat. It's just I personally blame Rexley because he owns Florida, but
Yeah,
he doesn't
yeah.
seem to be doing anything about it.
When
You know what? Those
when you
heat
hate Florida,
girders are out of
really kind of dropped the ball. You should have planned it out just slightly better.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It wasn't my fault. It was someone else's doing.
When you divined Florida with your crystal ball and made it out of nothing, out of thin air, you should have done a better job.
Well, see, I
I'll
was
keep
always under the impression that he bought Florida, considering how crappy the state he is. He probably got it for like a copy of Duke Nukem Forever and whatever spare change was in his pocket at the time.
You won't believe the prices I got it for.
That's really you guys are being very insensitive right now because I think that's it's very
Pascal's crying behind the camera. People don't know that right now. Just shedding tears everywhere.
well, not towards me and not being insensitive, but when you talk about trading cheap things for land in the United States, I think Native Americans will take you a little bit the wrong way.
Sorry,
That is true.
Native Americans.
To all our Native American listeners, if you are even out there, we wholeheartedly apologize. And I do mean that,
That's
Hope you don't-
Sean's doing, not ours.
pretty much. I'll take all the blame on this one.
That's right. For that, you'll review Barbie's new game.
Yeah,
No, I gotta review all the Imagine games for the DS.
I'm so glad you guys are bringing up reviewing games because we are actually a gaming website and this is a gaming podcast. And I know that it doesn't seem like it right now, if you're listening, but that is our purpose. Somewhere down the line, we were planning on talk about games. And you can, I keep meaning to put this closer to the beginning, and I'm always yelling at Martin, and by that I mean I think I've mentioned it one time in a hushed whisper voice, but we really need to put the contact information I think at the beginning. So if we're close to the beginning right now, B&B Gaming, maybe you guys can help me out. You can pretty much find it on everything, um, and by probably just searching B&B Gaming. So Facebook / B&B Gaming, Twitter,
B&B Gaming.
Gaming, Raptor,
B&B Gaming.
and I think, yeah. Oh, and YouTube too.
Yep.
B&B Gaming. Was it? Oh, no, this one's new. B&B Gaming videos? Is that
I
it?
think it's slightly different. I'll check right now. I'm actually curious.
Yeah, but I don't, yeah. Plus, I don't think there's like 150 B&B Gaming YouTube channels. I am actually currently uploading something to YouTube on my laptop.
Yeah, we are B&B Gaming
Yay.
Video. Oh, don't forget our most popular Pinterest. I think
Oh,
we're just
God.
pinterest.com / B&B Gaming.
Oh, it's so popular that I'll tell you, I did not forget it. I chose to not mention it actually.
We were not allowed to get it more popular. We're breaking all the Pinterest servers because people are just flocking to our page.
You won't find us anymore. They'll kick us off due to
Oh,
overloading their servers.
yep.
Sorry for accidentally DDoSing Pinterest, guys.
We have a lot of we have a lot of stuff to apologize for in this pod.
We do. This is like an apology podcast right now.
B&B Gaming's redemption. It's just
Nice job, Sean.
And of
Way
course,
to start the apology train.
yeah, and you had to apologize for for the weather in Florida, Rexley.
You know what? That's not my fault. Those are the heat converters on the fritz.
there you go.
I blame the heat converters.
So I realized just a couple of minutes before we started recording that um I don't know if it's maybe time to start changing the podcast name. For anybody that's been if anybody's been listening to the podcast for any amount of time, you know it's called PodBytes. But and back in the day that it made sense why we called it that. But I wonder if right now there's no way that anybody right now could connect why we're calling it PodBytes.
Yeah,
Because B&B Gaming actually
doesn't.
used to stand for something else.
Yeah, and we shortened it to B&B Gaming.
It used to stand for quality and
And waffles.
waffles and mature expression of pertinent news, and it doesn't stand for any of those things anymore.
So does it not stand for anything anymore? It's kind of like the SATs. It just doesn't stand for anything.
I think it's very I don't know. It's like it's like philosophical text that you may read for like college. It stands for whatever meaning you attach to it.
Boobs and boobs gaming. Got it.
What was it?
Boobs and boobs. Actually, bitches and boobs. Or am I not allowed to say that on the air? Am I in trouble now?
Well, we're not on the air of anything, so I guess you're allowed to.
We are on the waves of the internet, the intrawebs.
Hmm.
We're breaking ground with edgy topics.
We have changed the name during some of our podcasts just for fun, here and there in the past, but I guess it doesn't really stand. It used to stand for Bits and Bytes. That's the only other official.
You know what's amazing? I write for this site, and I didn't even know that's what it stood for.
Exactly.
I always just kind of wanted it to be a mystery, and I would just never know until the day I left.
Too bad.
And this is why I
And
think
hang on.
PodBytes is. I don't know if it's misleading is the right word. It's not really leading you anywhere, but it doesn't. There's no sense to PodBytes if you don't know the history behind it.
And Sean said until he left. What's that supposed to mean, Sean? Are you on
Actually,
the time?
it's either going to be I die, which I hope one of you will show up at my deathbed and just tell me what B&B stands for.
I'll whisper it like it'll be the last words you ever hear.
It's going to be
And
like Rosebud. It'd be like,
the look of horror just frozen onto your face.
that's actually what's probably going to kill me. Like, I probably would have recovered, but you'll tell me what it stands for, and I'll just die of shock. Yep, it's either going to be I die or I go work for a gaming company, and they're like, you are not allowed to be a journalist anymore. I use the term journalist in really loose quotes, if you know what I mean. But yes, it will
All
be
right.
the day I
Just
die or the day I have to go to a company that won't let me write anymore.
So maybe we'll just add Sean's death to the list of things we need to apologize for, and then you're.
yep.
I'm,
Got a
I'm
lot
confident.
But yeah, so B&B gaming. So let's talk about gaming.
of.
Here's my problem. Did anything even happen in like the last week of gaming?
I mean, little things have been happening. But I understand what you're saying, and I kind of have the same thought. I mean, news-wise, I don't think anything big and uh, incredibly noteworthy has been happening. I mean, still the biggest thing that's been happening recently is the Ouya, but I think we've really covered that. I don't think there's any need to go back into it. No new developments have really happened there.
Other than a new color and more pics of the controller, I think.
Well, let's
Nothing
let's spend an hour talking about the brown Ouya, 'cause I believe it was brown, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like this brown blackish kind of color. I think you can only get it like if you back it on Kickstarter right now.
For like $140. Um, I don't know. My first reaction was like, really, brown? That's what you went with? But then I thought about it some more, and I mean, unless they're doing like that horrible, like 1970s like wood paneling that
I was just thinking of that. And I was like, that's a bad color scheme.
only things I think that ever used that were old cars and old video game like systems that you attach to your TV.
Yep,
I
that
don't
would be
talk
awesome.
that kind of brown. I think on second thought, I realized maybe brown won't be quite so bad. It was like a dark mahogany brown.
Mahogany's a nice color.
Yeah, just anything but like real light colored diarrhea.
The thing that confused me now about the controller is like they decided to put OUYA as the buttons,
Hmm.
and it just looks weird because like I look at it every time and I'm like, is this like PS3 because I see the circle and then I see letters like A and Y and it makes me think 360 controller.
Well, the PS3's, it's got symbols, but half of it's kind of letters. It's got an O, it's got an X,
Yep. Though they do call it like circle and cross, I just say
right?
press circle or press X. Like I'll
I
never
say
actually
shape
say.
buttons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Um,
works too.
isn't that what I said?
You
So
said something about letters.
Oh,
He
I
just goes with shapes.
meant to say, well,
yeah.
whatever I said. Um, the yeah, and then the Ouya controller though, didn't doesn't the lettering start like I thought? I don't know why this is in any way important. You know what? It's not really important, but um, when I saw the controller, the lettering starts clockwise, but it starts I think like on the right side or the bottom or something. I mean,
It
like
starts on the bottom, yeah. Like the
I
if
would.
you know,
It's really called the Yaua, or I think the Y is
Yawa.
what I would start with.
yeah, yeah. It starts like where the cross button or where the A button would be on 360 controller. That's where the O is, and then it works clockwise.
Hmm.
The thing that's gonna get me is like I'm fine with telling people to press like Y or A or circle. Telling people like my sister, I'd be like press the U button. It just sounds really weird. I don't know if any of you feel like that, but I was like, yeah, press U.
Yeah. And where are all the buttons leading up to U? Like, do we not have A through T? That's why I had to check for a second.
Yeah, that's weird. I never wondered, or I always wondered that. Like, I think it's because of, I guess, trademark issues with controllers where you can't do A, B, X, Y. Well, yes, you can actually, because Nintendo and Xbox have that.
Yeah, I don't think it's really. I don't think you can copyright or like put a patent
Yeah,
the like the numbering. It's just the placement, like how the controller looks in general.
maybe they're just trying to stand out as like even in the controller, which I really think is kind of useless. That you need to spell Ouya in your button scheme, but
You really don't need to. I don't know.
no, I don't think
I
you
mean,
do.
it just conveniently have, four letters, four buttons. But I mean, there can't possibly be a patent on the placement of the buttons on a controller because the PS3 and the 360, I know the controller in general, the aesthetic and the feel of it is different, but the button placement isn't. I'm really trying to think. I don't play my.
It's not really button placement. It's just like if I were to honestly just take like 360 controller and copy it almost like make it look and feel the same, then I can easily get in trouble. I don't really know where the line is drawn though. That's the problem. Like you can't just go and make like a replica of the 360 controller. You know.
I don't know.
So
I
we follow up. What groundbreaking stuff can we um, follow after the Ouya controller controversy? This is the kind of week that it's been in gaming.
It's been slow. Um,
But I mean, on the other side of the coin, on the flip side, while I really kind of feel that news are kind of slow right now, and in general, I personally have felt that as far as new game releases and things, it's kind of been a slow and kind of dull summer. Like I'm
yeah.
knocking
yeah.
the quality of anything that has come out, but dull in the sense of just nothing to really be that excited about has come out this summer, I don't think.
I think well, it's August now. I think September. Well, we have Borderlands 2 coming out, so
Hmm.
hopefully that should get the ball rolling on
Well,
a
Sean,
bunch of.
you got something even before that that you're, excited.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was gonna say July was really really slow, but August seems to be kind of picking up. Um, there's a handful of I don't know. I don't like to just throw out the word AAA, but there are a handful of big releases coming out in August. Um, you got Darksiders 2 and Sleeping Dogs all on the same day. Um, that should be interesting. What else is actually coming out?
I think I had. Never mind.
Oh, New Super Mario Bros. 2. So there's your big 3DS title for the month. Um, really, your only 3DS title for the month, but what are you gonna do?
Is that the way Nintendo thinks of it? Like they just kind of toss it out there, like a very dismissive throw of the hand. There's your 3DS title for the month. There you go.
Well, if you pretty much, but if you notice, like last month, I think there were a bunch of 3DS games that come out, but I don't think any of them were Nintendo. It was all like third party stuff. You had like Kingdom Hearts. You had I want to say like Heroes of Ruin came out in July. I could be wrong here, so let me know if I am. But when Nintendo released a 3DS game, every other company just moves out of the way because nobody's gonna buy anything that month except for that one Nintendo game.
Hmm. Well, okay, but I mean, even the things you're listing, and I don't own a 3DS, so I don't have any of them anyway. But I mean, I know game names and stuff, and like what you're listing, isn't really. I don't know. It's not floating my boat. I'm not excited for any of that stuff. Like, I'm not saying those are bad games. It's just where's the excitement in the game releases? But I kind of think that maybe picking up again this month and slowly going uh, uphill from here on out for a while. Personally, Darksiders 2 is one I'm probably looking forward to the most.
I think Dan's gonna be excited for Guild Wars 2. It's coming out,
Yeah.
but that's more like end of the month rather than.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot of like you have some stuff which is new, so you're not gonna see a lot of um, like not necessarily too much hype. Like you got a handful of those Summer of Arcade games, Deadlight, Hybrid. Those are all new stuff. And
Mm.
since it's Summer of Arcade, there really isn't that much hype around it until it comes out because Xbox does a horrible job of promoting stuff.
And each of the
But
games could be good. It's just hard to classify the whole summer as an exciting gaming time based on titles like that.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I agree. It hasn't really been an exciting summer at all.
So Guild Wars 2, I'm not really sure of the exact like release date, but I know that they're, gearing up for it.
It says 28th up on our little sheet here.
Uh,
Yeah, it's a 28th globally. I know if you pre-order it, you get in a couple days early.
and you're right, Dan's probably the most excited about that, like on the planet, probably,
Yeah,
or even in this galaxy.
he's
Uh,
jumping for joy there.
so, but the thing, and he's done a really good job. I don't know if you guys have read his Guild Wars pieces.
I
He's
have, yeah.
written like 4 or 5 of them already.
Yeah,
And he's done a really good job of making the game sound very interesting. And Rexley, I know you were, and at one point I was as well, a World of Warcraft player, uh,
mm-hmm.
Sean. But
Oh,
but even with even with the way that Daniel has, portrayed Guild Wars, like it sounds really good, but after I finished reading the article, I just find myself like not really willing to get back into the whole MMORPG thing.
Yeah.
Except for the only game that's done this is oh man, what's the name of it? Aaron just did a review of it
Oh,
recently.
the Secret World.
The Secret World. I remember reading Aaron's
That
review and it just sounded incredible.
yeah. It is it free? I'm trying to think of it. Is it
No,
free
it's
or
not free. They're having a
that's what I
free to
thought.
play. They're having a free to play weekend either this weekend or like next. But it costs money. I want to say it's
That's
like
what I thought.
$15 a month. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not free yet.
Speaking of which, I'm assuming we all heard about the Old Republic going free to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's I think every single person has been predicting that though for
Yeah, it's been in a decline recently in terms of uh from what I've read recently. I think it's kind of been in decline in terms of subscriptions and whatnot. I think it's the only, I think honestly, most MMOs are going to be that way at some point, if not already.
mm,
Like, WoW has up to level 20, I think,
hmm
free to play. Not to mention they've also been dropping subscribers. I mean, they still have a pretty solid number, but it's not as, big as it used to be. So
hmm.
you never know. Honestly, it could be, in a month or a couple of years, but eventually I think it will have to go into full free to play mode.
I mean,
Um,
well, they're still they're bringing out a whole nother expansion, and that really
yeah,
kind of tells me, man, I've been off of that game for quite a while now because I quit just shortly after the Cataclysm expansion. I got that. I played it pretty solidly, but for a very short amount of time, maybe for like a solid month and a half, maybe. I don't know. And then I just pretty much stopped cold turkey. And now it's a brand new expansion that lets me either they're just rushing this one out really fast, or it's just been that long since I've played.
yeah. I think I didn't even buy Cataclysm. I think I just bought the Wrath of the Lich King, and I didn't even finish that expansion. So like it got pretty boring at some point because I didn't even do a lot of PvP stuff. I just did quest after quest after quest because I pretty much suck at PvP. So
But yeah, so well, the Secret World, um, to me it
I
sounds
mean the idea looks really cool for the
yeah,
Secret
that's
World.
what it is. I mean, that's what I thought I liked about it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never played like an MMO. I don't think at all. Like, I never got into World of Warcraft or any of the other big titles. But looking at Secret World was interesting because it's not fantasy really. You know what I mean? It's kind of this alternate reality, weird organizations and stuff in the background. But as for reviews go, I've seen it's really split. Like, I know Aaron was really positive about the game, but I have another friend who put in probably roughly the same time into it, and he said it started off great and just went downhill from there.
Mm,
It seems to be kind of dividing. Um,
it's kind of got like a gothic Americana horror vibe, correct? Or at least I don't know if
Yeah, it's got like that old, I don't know, like kind of 1920s feel, I guess.
like I really I just think of that the remake of the or even the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre when I read his review, like a cornfields and he's stretching for miles and miles and just this one, you know, the killer shack in the middle of the cornfield and that's
yeah,
I don't know that to me it just seems like worth checking out. I don't even know if that's in the game what I just said. I just that's the picture. Yeah, it's worth checking out. It's not even in the game though. Um, yeah, and I'm not sure if either of you guys are familiar with this. I mean, I think it's pretty well known. It's PlayStation 1 RPG, Shadow Hearts, and
yeah, I've heard of it.
there were
I haven't played
several.
it.
Yeah, it's like a series. I think there's at least three, maybe four. I'm pretty sure there's three though, at least. Um, and it's these RPGs, but I think starting with the second one, they got like kind of silly and real zany. And I think with the third, I never played either the second or the third. I think I own the second one, but I've never played it. That's weird. I had a friend who played the third one, and it was just like thinly disguised humor, basically. But the first one is really like a horror type of like Japanese horror RPG.
Okay.
That makes some kind of sense. And so it was, in that regard, it's different from a lot of other RPGs. I mean, it has the same exact setup, like turn-based battles, and it looks just like other RPGs, but it has a completely different vibe and different feel to it. So it's really kind of cool in that regard. And I guess that's the other thing I think of when I think of the Secret World. Try to
Okay.
compare that in some way. So yeah. Hmm. But
You're
yeah,
expecting a better reaction. Sorry.
I can see either I'm
Just going on. It's like,
descriptive
yeah.
skills. I hear no cheering or no excitement in the way I'm describing this.
It's just I've never gotten like I've listened to people talk about MMOs. I've just never gotten into them. So whenever people talk, I'm just like, I have nothing to add to this conversation because I just don't know enough about them.
Never got into what?
Like any MMO or RPG. Like I've actually played very few RPGs.
Well, that's
Um,
I kind of thought you were an RPG or
no, my three main like I guess genres that I really love, like other than like you know action adventure stuff like Arkham City and like Assassin's Creed. I really like your visual novel adventure games. So like Phoenix Wright, I'm a huge diehard of.
hmm.
Love your platformers. From like Mario to all the indie stuff like Super Meat Boy, Spelunky, and then I love the puzzle-ish stuff. Portal to Professor Layton. I love puzzle games, so. But yeah, never really gotten RPGs. I think the ones I probably played the most are Pokemon, and some people are gonna be like, "That's not an RPG." It's not really a JRPG, but um, I played the first two gens to death, and Paper Mario RPGs are fun because they're simple, so I understand them in my brain. Uh,
As opposed to understanding them in other parts of your body.
yeah, exactly. No, the problem I have with RPGs is I'm one of those like OCD gamers, so it's like you put me in Fallout 3 and I'm like, what to do first? And I just go nuts because it's like too much to handle at once. I need to get into dealing with it, but I'm like I love when I'm just funneled down a path and I don't have to make decisions.
Is it too much to handle, too cold to hold?
Sure.
Are you
Like
able
I
to
don't even know what you're talking about, crazy man.
hold on? Okay, I guess maybe like that kind of um a, I think that's dating you a little bit if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Much to
probably. I would like to say I'm one of the younger people on this site.
Rexley, do you have any clue what I'm referring to?
Uncle Pascal. No, it just sounded really funny to me. I've never heard that phrase before.
All right,
I'm gonna.
well, let's do, and here's something else I was thinking of earlier, not to derail completely. We'll go right back to your RPG thing or wherever we've gone to now, but um I was thinking earlier we need some like recurring features on the PodBytes, something just small segments that we can do. And here's your first one. If you know what the hell I was just quoting from, uh, and
I
if
might have been too young to see it. And
it's not even like well, I shouldn't be giving it. Yeah, it's um, it's something within my lifetime, and I realize I'm like the oldest one on the side. I think I still am, but whatever. I'm not
wait,
like
hang on,
58,
hang on,
not that old.
hang on.
If you grew up with silent movies, you might be able to get this reference. Am I right?
Oh yeah, well, silent movies that was well into my adulthood already.
Oh, there
Wait,
you go.
Yeah.
wait. Hang on.
No, no, no. Okay,
Is
well,
this a
here,
song lyric?
dude, I'm not gonna say. All right, if you know what the hell to what is it again?
It was something like
You know what though? I kind of
cold in the hand or some
Too
shit like
hot to
that. I
handle,
really don't know.
too
hot to
cold to
handle.
hold.
It's too
Yeah,
hot.
too cold to hold. There you go.
If you know what that's from, leave a comment on the site, and you'll win. Um,
A nice high five from Pascal Takaya.
you'll win
He will,
an
he will personally drive to your residence and give you a high five.
and maybe I'll give the answer away on the next pod bites.
Well, I think you're giving Pascal too much credit. Remember, he's old. He can probably take a steam train or something to your place of residence. Driving is a bit too modern.
I was watching Sean, you and I were talking the other day, and you had mentioned Louis, like the FX show,
Yeah, I
and
love.
I immediately looked it up on Netflix. Like I'd seen previews for it too, and it's always looked like something that I might enjoy, but I've never pursued actually looking it up. So I found it on Netflix. I watched a couple episodes, and I found one of the ones I ended up watching is where he's just really insecure about his age, and he does a comedy show, and some girl at the comedy club, like some young girl, looks him up afterwards, and she's all, I like older men. You smell weird. You smell like
Oh
death.
yeah,
This
that
kind
one's
of stuff. And
that's
then,
such a weird episode.
well, okay, as opposed to the other ones that are totally normal. But yeah, it's hilarious. And then he takes her back to his apartment, and they end up, on his bed, getting hot and heavy, and she's just shouting all these things about how freaking old he is. It's so
Oh yeah, and then he's telling her things to keep it going. He's saying like I was born in the 1960s or
yeah,
something like that.
it's like
He's
his
just
nerdy talk is to talk
just
about how old he is. Um, and then okay, well, actually, I was just thinking about this. I was watching one right before we did the podcast where he goes where he's traveling on an airplane. And I guess like the airplane starts hitting like a patch of turbulence, and I can relate to this because I really hate traveling because of this reason. But so the airplane just kind of starts, shaking a little bit, and the the pilot gets, or the co-pilot gets on the speaker, the PA system or whatever, and he says the usual like put on your seatbelt, we're hitting a ladies and gentlemen, if you please put on your seatbelt, we're hitting a patch of turbulence, and we'll get through this in just a moment. And flight attendants, will keep an eye on you. May God have mercy on our souls.
and yeah, he slips that in there right at the end. So it's like everybody kind of takes a double take. Like, did he really just say that?
I
I
love
love that part.
so yeah. Um, yeah, but I'm not even I'm well younger than Louis C.K. by the way, so nowhere near that. Um, but
I
hey, Rick,
was
did you notice? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking of regular features, I don't know if we want to tell our audience to ask email questions. The problem with that is if nobody responds, will it be really depressing? So
Like to answer on the podcast, you mean?
yeah, like see people send email questions, we open them and answer them on the podcast. But
Okay.
then if we get no email questions, I don't know if we'd all be like, huh, and just hate ourselves for
We're
it.
so popular.
No, I think.
We'll probably break our email server like the Pinterest servers with all the responses.
Mm, that's a good idea. Yeah, if you'd like to send fan mail, um, or questions, please. You can find our emails on the website. So just pick one of us and mail away. That's probably a good idea.
I was gonna say if it gets more popular, we can always set up a actual email for just questions.
I don't think we should set aside a 20-minute segment of time for it just yet. I think,
Oh, I know. I said if it gets more popular, take it easy.
Give
I'm
it
going
mail time at bnbgaming.com.
but we'll spell it MALE, mail time.
just the guys, no girls. Can we get John St. John to give like a little sound clip just saying mail time? Because I would really love that.
Stick it in your ass. It's mail time. Yeah,
Oh,
we did.
man.
I kind of turned that around a little bit.
The last PodBytes was brought to you by Christopher Walken, so I don't see why not.
But yeah, I in no way, shape, or form think that my John St. John or any other impression I might attempt is passable or even good or humorous for that matter.
This is why we need Deck, because Deck has such Deck has such great impressions.
Yeah. But first we need him to do an impression of a passable online service, so he can get on and record a podcast with us.
Yeah, Deck, you should totally come on here and listen, or not listen, and participate.
I think he does listen. Um, Probably while I get angry email from him now. So I kind of stored this away in my brain for a few minutes. I don't know if you noticed this earlier, Rexley, but Sean had mentioned that one of his favorite genres is action adventure. Did you hear him say adventure?
I did. I
Yeah.
heard adventure.
So,
I'm surprised you didn't jump at it, Pascal.
well, you notice I did. It was literally like 20 minutes ago, and I was like, I made a mental note. Come back to this one, adventure.
Adventure?
Ding, ding.
Oh man.
But when you just say adventure games, we're not referring to games like. Are we being distinct from action adventure and adventure? Because like adventure games on their own are very different from action adventure games.
Exactly. And I know you didn't mean those adventure games, so I'm
Oh,
just,
I do as well. Like I do love adventure games.
well, even if you didn't, I was gonna take your statement and just rape the shit out of it and turn it into my own thing right now. So, I mean actual adventure games.
Oh, I really like point and click games like Monkey Island. Hell yeah, I'm a huge Monkey Island fan. Uh, like I love the old point and click stuff. The
Yeah.
problem with adventure is it could honestly mean like there are so many subgenres of adventure games.
Mm.
It gets kind of confusing
Well, it's
because you have.
a catch-all word.
Oh no, for sure. But like, there's point and click. There's graphical adventure. There's just uh, like some people put visual novels in under adventure,
Mm.
which they kind of are, but they're kind of not at the same time.
I mean, what about Uncharted? It's
That would be
An action adventure, in my
that's an
opinion.
action adventure. Yeah, I would. For lack of a better term, I'd say action adventure. Even though it's got shooting, like if technically Grand Theft Auto is like an action adventure too. It's got shooting in it, but it's not like your primary focus. I would say Uncharted is an action adventure.
you have adventure in like every game. You can have an adventure. Wow, what
Well,
an adventure I'm having.
I was right.
I really
See,
think every game is like that. Like every game is an adventure, to be honest.
well, here's the proof in the pudding. I went to Wikipedia because Wikipedia is 500% accurate. They list it as an action adventure platform, which I guess is right because half the time you're like jumping around, and the other half of the time you're killing things. So that makes sense.
Well, when I think it does depend on your personal definition to an extent, but when I say adventure and what I think of is, like you said, point and click stuff. Uh, maybe, maybe it's fair to say slower paced like that. Emphasis on story as well. I was watching a video last night on YouTube, and it was something like the 40 scariest games ever, or something like that, or 40 most bloody and violent games, or something along those lines. And a point and click adventure was somewhere on that list as well, one I'd never heard of.
Wow.
Mm,
How
Wait,
good.
like, are you talking about like there was an actual point and click adventure on the list, or just point and click adventure? Like, were they ranking genres, or there was an actual point and click
no, it
adventure?
was a specific one that I'd not
Oh,
heard
okay.
of before. Uh, and you know what? This sucks because I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, I was about to ask.
No, I
It
remember.
wasn't. It was a clock tower.
No, no, because that I know what that is. No, I kind of want to say it might have been Hometown or something. I'll
Oh,
look it up.
yeah.
I can look it up real quick too. But we'll we'll keep talking and I'll just kind of slip that in there once I found the answer. But
But like, I was gonna say within adventure, because I've argued with people so much about this. The main apparently genres you have within adventure, there's like dating sims, which I guess count as adventure. I don't really know who came up with that one.
It's more of a
Uh,
sip. No, never mind.
you have your graphic adventures, which are essentially just point and clicks, and then a subgenre of that is something like escape the room games. I know me and Pascal will talk about this in another podcast, but we're playing like 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. So that's a mix of like a visual novel and a graphic adventure, for lack of a better term. Um, and then you got your interactive fiction and movies. I don't really know if I've played an interactive fiction game. I guess that'd be like a virtual choose your own adventure. I don't know if any of you have played that.
I have. I think I've played some sort of like that. If you read, I think what is it? It might have been 2 weeks ago where I did. I quote unquote played Dear Esther. It was Esther. It was like a. It's like this game on Steam. Basically, I don't even consider. It's really hard to call it a game because all it is like is you're. It's a first person experience where you're on this island and it's deserted, and you're walking around, and as you're walking around, you're hearing this story, like from voiceovers of people, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I've heard of that game, and there are actually some like minor, I don't want to say controversies, where people are discussing whether that's really a game.
It really is. I mean, it's something to really think about because it's hard to call it a game because you're just walking around, really. I mean, you could turn that into a movie to be honest. But then people will be like, "Oh, what about Heavy Rain or Fahrenheit and stuff like that?" And
Yeah,
there's no fine line, I guess.
I would still call it, a video game, just based on like my definition of video game is something that's, for lack of a better term, like digital or electronic that you interact with.
Yeah,
Even the old ass like LCD Game and Watch games, that's a video game. I would consider Dear Esther one, but it's not your typical one. That's probably the best example of like interactive fiction. And similarly, you have the stuff like an interactive movie. I think what's that one game that I really hate a lot? I want to say it's called. Oh man, it's the one where you're trying to like go through a castle. They just re-released it. What the hell is it called? It's animated by Don Bluth. Uh, you guys know what I'm
Pascal, I feel
talking
like you mentioned this.
Dragon Slayer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dragon's
I
Lair. Thank
reviewed
you.
it. I didn't just mention it. I lived it.
Oh, you lived it. Oh, I feel
You lived
bad
it.
for you.
I remember
But,
because I remember Pascal explaining this game to me, and I was just like, "Wow, that just was so unattractive."
and then you could ask like, people didn't even consider Heavy Rain a game, which made me just want to go find those people and smack them in the face. But
Yeah, I have people who are just like, "Oh, like I saw, what was it, Velociraptor saying, if I watch Heavy Rain on YouTube, is that considered piracy? Something like that." And I really think in my opinion, I really think it's a game.
that's a very good example. I would like to think I haven't played all of it, but it's a mix between an interactive movie or interactive like drama, which is a
Mm.
drama is just kind of like a movie. And does it have puzzle elements? Like I've only played the first bit of it, the part where you're playing as the father and he's just going about his day. I think you brush his teeth,
Jason!
press X to Jason. No, I didn't get to that part, but
Oh, well,
just the part where you're around his house and you're doing like the most mundane shit, which was fine, but that's the only part I played. But
it gets better.
oh, I know it does. I don't have a PS3. Uh,
Ah,
yeah.
go on.
People are probably now figuring out this is the first time me and Rexley have ever talked. But yeah, does it have any sort of puzzle elements, or is it just, you know, yeah, like what happens in that game other than the cutscenes where you press buttons to fail or not fail in action?
Yeah. So it's pretty good, honestly, in my opinion, because there's scenes that'll really challenge you in terms of, I guess what sequence of buttons to press or the timing of it.
You talking about like Fahrenheit now?
No,
Heavy Rain?
Heavy Rain.
Well, same difference. Kind of.
Same person, because
Yeah, it's same
both
company.
made by um,
Quantic Dream.
thank you. A lot of the name escapes me, but like, stuff, things like that. I mean, there's a point in the game where you can actually change the outcome.
Yeah.
It's granted, like it's later on, but you can change the outcome of the story of the characters' fates, all that stuff, and how that affects the end game. And like myself, I think I've only seen like two of those endings, but um, it really is one of those things that I really like. Even though it's just me pressing buttons and walking around, it's a nice experience. It's a great game, and
Yeah, I loved it.
I won't be like, oh my god, I feel this need to play Heavy Rain, but looking back on it or picking it up after I haven't played it in about a year now, but I bet picking it up again in a few days or so, I think I'd still be yeah, I'd still be pretty
Right
much
now.
this great game.
No,
Yeah,
I
no.
call me stupid. I didn't even know that they had multiple endings in that.
Well, yeah, there is. And
But, like,
I've done like two of them, and yeah. Go on.
I think the main difference which made Heavy Rain successful is, Pascal, you just mentioned, I didn't even know there were different endings. But that's the thing about Heavy Rain. Even if you like screw up an action, the game just keeps going. And that's why I think the QuickTime events work well because You know, there's games like Resident Evil where you're in a cutscene, and if you fail the QuickTime event, it just boots up the cutscene again, and you have another go at it. But from what I remember, if you screw up a cutscene or a QuickTime event in Heavy Rain, it just keeps going. Like things will change just
Yeah.
up exactly around you. There's no fail screen, for lack of a better term, or anything. It just you could get a really crappy ending.
I killed that really effeminate cop, or the detective, the one who had that awesome like
Common.
visor that he put on, and that he starts manipulating the world by touching the air.
Oh yeah, like the Minority Report shit. I
Common.
forgot his name.
Yeah, all of a sudden, yeah, the one who like just steps into what's that room in Star Trek? The one that
The holodeck.
yeah, the one who operates like that. I ended up killing him at the scrapyard when he's questioning that big mountain of a man. Um, and yeah, I killed him. He ended up the guy got the better of me and put me in a vehicle, which then he proceeded to crush while the cop was like in there pounding on the window.
Still get out of that.
What's that?
You can still get out of that.
He just effed up on getting out of it.
If you want to. I don't,
Oh,
you
I
have to get out of that? What
Yeah,
are you talking about?
the guy beating you up, like you can still get creamed by him and then still get your way out of the car.
Okay, either I did it wrong at that moment and that's why he got killed, or I just didn't realize that there were options to like get out. Did it? I don't remember seeing any on-screen prompts. Maybe I'm just remembering it wrong. But he did get killed. He got crushed into a tiny cube.
Yep, I've had that happen.
Nice.
Yeah.
His name's, by the way, his name's Norman Jaden or something like that.
Yeah, but the way he says it in the game is like, "I'm Norman Jaden." Like it's kind of like a half New York, half Boston.
Yeah, the problem is, I'm pretty sure, Quantic Dream's a French company, so I think they hired a lot of European voice talent.
Oh, they
and
did.
They proceeded to tell them, oh, by the way, act like Americans. So they're like, uh-oh, I don't know what to do. So they all just put on this weird accent.
Sean, that is such a problem.
It is a big problem. The biggest of problem. Well, they definitely fixed it for their next game because they hired a bunch of American actors. So
Directly, Sean, spelled Shan, by the way, and Pascal. So we're like, oh, what a problem. They're hiring real Americans.
No, it's not a problem. Like, I don't mind, but, people did complain about it. Like, I read reviews that were like, the voice acting will seem off because you're trying to get people. If you told me to do voice acting for a game and sound like somebody from China, there's probably going to be a few reviewers who'd be like, this guy really fucked up the voice acting. Because I don't know how to sound like a Chinese person, even if they're speaking English.
Yeah. I bet those voice actors would probably, if they did come over here, they would like try to trade like some fire water for the state of New York or something.
Pretty much.
It's a reference to earlier,
Oh, I see what you did there.
That's right.
Or is it too soon maybe?
No, it's fine.
Too soon.
It's
calling it right now.
Yeah, I'm like the Dennis Miller of PodBytes.
Oh, aren't you?
Shit that we talked about like 30 minutes ago.
Aren't you classy?
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Harvester.
What about it?
I'm talking about the point and click.
Yes.
Yes, it is called Harvester.
Oh, okay. I understand what you're talking about now. I'm gonna go look it up.
But I can hear the keyboards go immediately.
Yeah, man, Harvester. This game just looks scary as hell. I'm gonna, to all the people out there listening, go Wikipedia search this game.
The most violent game of all time.
Is that what
Yep,
that's about
this
it?
is right on the cover art.
Big to live up to, isn't it?
Man, I didn't even look it up any further than that. I just saw like a little clip of it. I didn't research it, but anything point and click related kind of catches my eye. So it.
Well, hang on.
Yeah.
Can I read the controversy section of this game on Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Oh,
Harvester contains various scenes of violence and gore, implied sexual intercourse, masturbation and S&M, murder, suicide, child abuse, profanity, cannibalism, prostitution, pedophilia, molestation, serial killing, geronticide, what? Vandalism, sexually transmitted diseases, and stereotypes of homosexuals, Native Americans, Italians, and others.
Oh my
God.
Wait a minute. Why is
just
it
to clarify, geronticide is the killing of old people. Like,
Thank you.
Yeah, I looked it up because I was like, what's geronticide? I was killing Geronimos or something. Like, I don't know.
Geronticide. Holy crap!
You should keep going with this controversy section. It keeps going.
Well, I was gonna say, how about why don't you get Christopher Walken to read us the blurb?
Oh god.
You want me to read it? You want me to read that again as Christopher Walken?
Yeah, just call to him. Put in a call to him real quick. I know you have an in
Phone
there.
a, phone a
Well,
friend.
see, he's right. He's here right now with me. He's visiting for the day, so I'll have him read
The
it.
whole
Hang
time
on.
you haven't mentioned anything about it.
He just likes to not be in the podcast. He just wants to watch and listen.
But it'd be nice if we had known. He's like Big Brother. He's like always watching and listening. You just
He's
never
always
know.
watching and he's never.
That's how
Alright.
Christopher Walken operates.
Hang on, I'll ask him to put us on here. Hang on.
That's good nicely.
Harvester contains various scenes of violence and gore, implied sexual intercourse, masturbation, S&M, murder, suicide, child abuse, profanity, cannibalism, prostitution, pedophilia, molestation, serial killing, geronticide, vandalism, sexually transmitted diseases, and stereotypes of homosexuals, Native Americans, Italians, and others.
That was beautiful.
I want
Oh,
to
man.
fight this guy now.
Christopher Walken seemed to have some questions during the reading of that. Like, it's like murder.
Intonation all the way. He was just like,
Murder.
It sounded like he was
murder?
like he was Curly or somebody from the Three Stooges. Moida.
Oh man.
And the fact that this is a point-and-click adventure, imagine an actual third person experience.
Yeah, it kind of transcends the whole meaning of the word adventure when you're stereotyping Italians and Native Americans and doing geriatric homicide. What an adventure!
I was gonna say, Pascal, you have some new material for your next Let's Play.
Oh, sweet. Oh, you know what? I can't do that on my computer though, unfortunately.
It says here, however, despite the extremely graphic content, the game only received an M rating in the US instead of an AO.
Hmm.
Much violence consisted of crudely animated blood and gore superimposed over rotoscoped live-action actors, as opposed to realistically rendered makeup effects.
I like this game already. Sounds amazing. It clearly got Christopher Walken's seal of approval.
Because he's such an authority in the realm of video games. That's all I look for.
Hell yeah. If anybody should lead the Electronic Software Association, it should be Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken should just be the MC for every single press conference ever.
He should host every E3 convention conference.
Honestly, I think that would be pretty
That would-
awesome.
That would
Not
make
every conference, but I mean, think of who was hosting some of the frickin' press conferences at E3 the last couple of years.
Ubisoft, man. Ubisoft has the greatest,
Give me Mr. Caffeine or give me death. That's all I have to say.
greatest lineup of presenters in the world.
Um,
You guys have no idea.
Has it always been Ubisoft like every year?
Oh yeah, no, Ubisoft fucks up every single year.
Aisha,
And,
was that them today? Today, this year?
Yeah, because it had Alicia Tyler and that YouTube guy. I forgot his name. He was really annoying.
Okay, yeah, this year they had, I think, Aisha Tyler. I want to say last year they had Mr. Caffeine, the guy that kept going, like,
Yeah.
the little do. That guy was amazing. Like, he probably lives on the side of a road right now, begging for change. I still love him to death, but, oh man, that guy was awesome.
We should just drive by and throw new Super Mario 2 at him and go like, "Here's your DS game for the month."
Better yet, we should get him on PodBytes.
I don't. How is that? I don't know if that's better.
It's better, trust me, because he can segue into all these things by doing his sound effects.
Woo!
It's Ric Flair on PodBytes. We should just get a complete like professional wrestler lineup for PodBytes, but it's got to be the old washed up kind of wrestler too.
I'm fine with that.
No one's even ever looked up to when they were kids.
It's too bad that we can't get Macho Man anymore.
I soundboard it. That's all I have to say. Can we get soundboards on PodBytes?
It'd be a very one-dimensional podcast. It just catchphrases flying back and forth for an hour and a half.
If I have to put in votes for what the soundboards would be of, I would nominate Mrs. Cleo. For those who remember Mrs. Cleo, Hank Hill is always a favorite.
Who?
Talking.
Hank Hill's a personal favorite of the entire B&B gaming
Hank
staff.
Hill?
To be honest.
Can we get Hank Hill as our new mascot for B&B Gaming?
I miss Chad. Chad had the greatest Hank Hill impersonations ever.
Martin does a pretty good job of it too.
He does a good one too.
I used to do Borat really well. Hank Hill, I need to work on.
Anything British you can ask Deck for.
Excellent.
He did a great Sean Connery a while back, which I still laugh at.
Yeah, that's beyond like funny. Have you guys heard of the Olympic reports of Kazakhstan and how upset they get every time they do a press conference? Because like no matter what, like for years now, random people in the audience just incessantly shouting and quoting lines from Borat during.
Yeah.
God.
I remember last year, I don't remember what event it was, but somebody played Borat's Kazakhstan anthem instead of the real one. It wasn't at the Olympics. It was at like some sort of like athletic, event, and they played the wrong anthem.
That's so-
It's just the greatest thing ever, and they got so pissed off. Oh man.
But wait, it's not even in isn't it in like Kazakhstani or whatever language?
Like I'd have to listen to it again, but it's bad. I can't even remember how he did it.
It's like number one export is
Yeah. That is true. And it's funny because if you go on Wikipedia, you can play the Kazakhstani anthem right in there. So somebody who clearly looked it up for this event really screwed it up. That's all that needs to be said.
I've never heard that. Yeah.
Well, doesn't matter because Ilya Ilyin of Kazakhstan defends weightlifting gold. Wow. Man, this podcast went way off track.
It did. Well, is there anything that we want to say to get it back on track for the last few minutes before we close it out?
Can I just say that Ouya should have the Kool-Aid guy as its mascot?
Oh yeah.
Come on.
That's
Yeah, I nominate that. Let's go talk to Julie Ehrman right now.
I cannot be the only person who's thought of this.
I think you are.
I think you are the only person that thought of this.
Not happening. People need to get on this train. Have the Kool-Aid guy be the mascot for Ouya.
I'm all on board this train. Don't get me wrong.
I know, but I cannot be the only one. I cannot be the first person in the world to think of this.
What you need to do is back Ouya for like $1, and then go on their comment section and just repeatedly ask, "Can we get the Kool-Aid Man
Do that.
as the mascot?"
Either that, or I can just amass a huge, like the largest donation yet, and then be like, "You guys need to have the. I'll give this money to you guys, just on the condition that you have the Kool-Aid guy be your mascot, and have him say, "Ooh yeah."
What, $1? You're gonna
No.
ding $1
Actually-
in front of them? I've got a condition for this first.
No,
What you need to do, just get on like Facebook, Twitter, obviously Pinterest, the greatest of social networking, but just get every social media account. Just start this. Petitions, whatever you can do.
Yeah, MySpace. Make sure you get one of those.
Yep.
Where my only friend is Tom at the moment.
Tom's a pretty cool guy.
Oh. Yeah, but you know what? It just sucks having just to be friends with Tom.
Rexley, for the next PodBytes, can we, instead of Christopher Walken, can you get Bane to make an appearance?
That's a different show.
It's my new favorite impression that I'm hearing. Like on the
Okay.
radio. It's Bane.
Anyone can be Bane. Here's how. Okay, just work on your Sean Connery impersonation. All right, then put a pillow in your face, so you just be like this.
That actually sounds pretty good. I gotta be honest.
Well, but you gotta get the right cadence and inflection into your
Yeah.
speech too.
See, the funny thing was, like, I couldn't tell what Bane was saying half the time in the movie, and then when he read Gordon's letter to the media, that's when I couldn't take him seriously because it wasn't that low tone of like.
Spoiler.
No,
Oh,
he didn't.
just
He
in
didn't
case.
say what letter it was, so it's not really that bad.
Yeah, But anyway, when he does this thing, okay, he speaks in like, loudly and in a high pitched voice. So instead of sounding like this, he sounds like this. And he talks like this. And I just couldn't take him seriously from that point on.
Can we have like for next PodBytes? I actually think the intro music should just be a loop that gradually gets louder, and the loop is a Desi Desi Basara, just over and over, getting slightly louder, until the people listening think it's way too loud, and then it just starts with us talking.
But I'm sorry, I don't even know what you're referring to.
Have you not seen the movie? The little chant they do
What
that means like rise or something. Have you not seen the movie?
what movie?
Dark Knight Rises. What are you
yeah.
guys talking
I,
about?
sure, I have.
Oh, okay. So you know whenever he's like they keep doing that Deshi Deshi Basara. You never heard that?
When he's climbing out of the
The web. Yeah,
yes.
that's what they're saying. It's hard to hear in the theater, but that's apparently what they're saying. So just keep looping that and just make it get get the volume to increase ever so slightly until it just ramps out to be really loud.
How the hell do you just know that?
I know everything. So
Okay.
there's your answer.
This is R. Welcome to B&B Gaming's PodBytes.
Is that Batman?
Apparently so.
I'm Batman.
Yeah, we'll just have all the Batman villains.
Do we all like Dark Knight Rises, by the way?
Yes.
I loved it, so I thought it was awesome.
How about you, Rexley?
What's up? I missed the question.
Dark Knight Rises.
Did you like Dark Knight Rises?
I did. I thought it was just too lengthy in the middle. Did anyone else like that or no?
Nope.
No?
Haters gonna hate. That's exactly what happened.
Then again, I've only seen it once, which is kind of a crime, so I kind of need to see it again.
I'm waiting for it to come out on. I may actually end up seeing it a second time, possibly in the theater, but most likely not. I thought it was perfect length though.
Yeah, I thought actually everything about that movie was pretty good. Like a lot of people will nitpick shit, and I think they're crazy.
Like
But
they'll
I thought
too long in the middle.
people will say like, no, people will tell me the dumbest shit ever. This is getting slightly spoilery, but like they'll be like, oh, it didn't make sense that Bruce Wayne.
Hang on. Spoiler alert, people. If you want to skip this part, skip it now. Go on.
At this point, they could probably just like, I'm assuming we're gonna stop talking after this little section because we're getting towards the end. You know what? Either you could stop listening now, or Pascal will like edit some magical time that you could skip into.
Or you can just like go screw yourself, maybe. Also.
Wow, way to be friendly, always friendly. Your friendly neighborhood podcast.
Go screw yourself, please.
There you go. That's what I was waiting for.
And thank you.
But okay, you know the part like people complain about stuff like how did Bruce Wayne manage to get back to Gotham having like no money after he climbs out of the well? How did he manage to one thing people have been complaining about is like why did he waste time setting up his like will, painting a bat symbol so he could light on fire? Like the most random shit people will complain about. I heard somebody complain about how did he manage to keep his little flying bat thing on the top of a roof for 5 months and nobody find out about it. Like it's just the dumbest shit people complain about.
Like, oh, that's.
I bet in the book he wouldn't waste time to draw the bat symbol, but it's a fucking visual medium.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah, I agree with Pascal.
Pascal's on fire today.
No. Oh man, don't talk bad about that movie. No, I thought it was good.
Don't talk about that.
Talk about my movie. I went back and rewatched the Batman Begins last week, or maybe it was earlier this week, because I haven't seen it in a couple of years, and I'm thinking I wonder if I should rewatch Dark Knight, but I don't think I will because I've seen it multiple times already. It's like it's still fairly fresh in my mind.
Yeah, what happened to me? I rewatched Batman Begins like the night before I went to see Dark Knight Rises, and I was starting to watch The Dark Knight, and then like halfway through, I'm like, I've seen this way too many times. Like I know exactly what's gonna happen. I just stopped watching it.
You've seen it way too many times. Not only have I seen it way too many times, I've been to most of the places where they've shot that movie.
Nice.
Because I live in Chicago.
Yet you own Florida. Let's make that distinction.
What?
You own Florida.
Yeah, you own it.
Yeah, I don't like the hot weather. I'll just stay up here where it's kind of nice.
There you go.
It's I mean, like I had completely forgotten all about the fact that Ra's al Ghul is the villain in that movie.
In the first one?
Yeah, in the first one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Because you're
mean,
kind of focused on Scarecrow.
I remembered that Ra's al Ghul was in the beginning, kind of like more or less training Bruce
Mhm.
Wayne, quote unquote. Um, but in my memory of the movie, it was just Scarecrow after that. Like when he gets back to Gotham, it's basically just Scarecrow, and I forgot the whole Ra's al Ghul part of that. So I'm glad I did rewatch it because I'm assuming I don't have to call spoiler alert for a movie that's like 7 years old or whatever by now. That one, but it does since it does tie into the new Batman in that regard. So it's probably a good thing I rewatched it.
Yeah. I also love how they found in every movie some way to shoehorn in Scarecrow, which is fine. Like beginning of Dark Knight, he's still there, like dealing like his crazy drug, which didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, who is buying this drug that makes people crazy? And then even in the third movie, he's like
He's
the
that
uh,
guy.
the judge in the kangaroo courtroom.
He's the
Which
dude. I was wondering if I was the only one who picked up on that.
no, I think everybody picked up on it, but they were too like
Thing.
everybody was like, is that really him? So they didn't say anything.
Yeah, I was like, hey, Scarecrow.
I'm wondering how he got to that position. Scarecrow is like the ultimate grub to me in the Nolan trilogies. Like he just manages to worm his way out every time and just kind of stay under the radar. He's kind of amazing in that way.
Well, I guess he's supposedly going to play a big part in the next Batman game.
Wait, they're making
Where
another
where they
Batman game?
where they pronounce it Raish Al Ghul.
What's that?
Well,
Where they
technically,
pronounce
Ra's
it
al Ghul is the correct pronunciation. It's the
yeah,
Nolan films that
like
that do it
see,
wrong.
yeah. The thing is though, like I've like for years I couldn't tell which one was the right one and not.
Yep.
So like I grew to like appreciate Ra's al Ghul, and then Raish Al Ghul was just like weird to me.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I
So
agree.
in my mind, it's like Batman who's gonna hate me for this, but Ra's al Ghul for me is like the right pronunciation.
yeah, it kind of sounds like a gangster rapper. That
Yo, I'm Ra's al
that,
Ghul. I
and
read once in a lifetime in the pool. I don't know, something like that. That was a bad line.
That was really bad. Like I
And
think you should
someone
not be
edit that
happy
out
with
because
that.
that was pretty bad.
street cred is slipping by the moment, Rexley.
I was gonna say you're assuming he had street cred to begin with.
Oh no, Rexley street cred. Yeah.
I
Uh,
have no street cred whatsoever.
Here's
well,
my question: Are they making another like? Are they making a sequel to Arkham City? Because there was definitely too many Easter eggs in that game to say otherwise. So I have no idea.
yeah. I mean, come on. We're living in the age of sequels. Anyway, number one, first, and then there's a lot of open-ended. I have not played the like the expansion DLCs yet.
Me neither.
When I say yet, I don't know if I ever will, but just because I don't like paying for shit.
You're
uh,
a cheap asshole.
yeah. Um, but anyway, YouTube exists for a reason, so I've seen the Easter egg collection, and they'd be foolish not to. I mean, those games
Yeah,
are excellent.
they've left too many things there to not make a sequel or to make a sequel that they should just go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Well, the thing was like Arkham Asylum had like one major Easter egg, and that was like the hidden room behind the warden's office or something, and that was like a really big Easter egg. Like it actually
Yeah.
spoiled major things.
Hold on.
Which
No. Yeah, you may need to tell me because I don't know if I know about this.
oh, okay. Like in Arkham
Clayface?
Asylum, there's like a room you can get into. You have to like put 3 explosive gels in this very particular position, and
Mm.
you blow it up, and it like opens another room of the warden's office, and it shows how he's like gonna plan to run for mayor, and it shows how he's gonna like section off an area for Arkham City.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so like that pretty much whenever people saw that, it was huge news because it was essentially confirming another game.
Mm.
But this one, it was just a ton of small Easter eggs that
Mm.
don't really give away any plot details. It was just kind of, I think some of them include like Harley Quinn's pregnant. I
Mhm.
don't know if that comes up at all in the DLC, so I could be wrong there.
I
Uh,
didn't even buy any of the DLC, so I'm not even. I need to get on that at some point.
Yeah, like the only major DLC for Arkham City was the actual like Harley Quinn's Revenge.
I
So
was wondering.
I don't know if they touch on any of the pregnancy stuff there. But then there's also like a secret message you can find from Scarecrow that says like I'll be back and stuff. Like
Well, no,
there's
the thing there's a. Sorry, finish that first, and I'll go right after you.
I was actually done that phrase.
Okay.
So
Oh no, I was gonna say on that scarecrow part. In Arkham City, there's a boat,
Mm.
uh, in the water. Like you can't like it looks like there's nothing on it, but if you turn on your the decryptor thingy,
Yeah, the
yeah, and
decoder
it,
or
yeah, the
secret
decoder.
Captain Planet ring or whatever you have
get
on.
your decoder rings out, everybody.
Your mood
but
ring. Why is it always green? I don't get it.
but if you use that on one of the boats, it opens up and basically like you go under the boat or like you go to the cargo hold and basically it's just like this narrow hallway and it's full of like bugs in little jars and basically at the end is like this guy like one of the villains or like a henchman. He's tied up and you go like from he looks dead but then you go closer and like he freaks out for a bit and then just passes out again and then like to his right there's like an order form like pinned to the wall like I think it's like Falcone shipping or something but it's shipped
Yeah.
to Scarecrow or
Yeah, it's the Scarecrow gas basically, right?
yeah, right.
And it's
So
shipped to that guy, the one who they're always doing the deals with, and everybody buys their properties
Jonathan,
through him.
Jonathan Crane is recipient.
Oh, him. I was thinking of the other guy, but yeah. If
Yeah.
you well, if anybody hasn't, I mean, I couldn't have found these Easter eggs myself either. So just go to YouTube and type in Arkham City Easter eggs, and it's like a 20-30 minute video of Easter eggs. It's pretty cool.
So and it's really worth looking at
Yeah.
because Batman is awesome.
So
I need to go back and play Arkham City, like replay it. I don't know.
I think I've replayed it like 3 or 4 times. Not gonna lie.
The problem that pissed me off, to be honest, is I was looking to get like 100% completion, right? So that was all fine and dandy, but I found out you actually have to do 100% in your first playthrough and then 100% in your New Game Plus
oh,
playthrough.
but I
So,
started the new game plus. I didn't get very far. Do you have to re-find all the Riddler trophies in that one as well?
yep.
No, wait.
Oh,
Oh.
wait, do you? All I know is you have to get like 100% in your first playthrough and a New Game Plus playthrough
Wow.
to work towards your completion. I don't know if things carry over though. So like maybe the Riddler trophies carry over, but
Because I wouldn't
I-
redo all that.
all the side mission stuff I'm referring to. So like if you thought, oh, I'm not going to look at the side mission now because I'll just do it in New Game Plus, you're screwed because you actually have to do it twice.
Like Deadshot.
Yeah, like Deadshot and stuff. Like you
Oh.
actually have to do them all twice.
No, the Azrael and Deadshot ones were the hardest ones to do.
I didn't
you
actually do half of them, so I can't really attest to that. But I'll take your word for it.
Azrael is the Watcher from some whatever the group.
yeah.
I hope that's
Something like
playing
Mark-
into the next game as well. I'd
Yeah.
like to see more on that.
Well, see, the thing is, Azrael in the comic book series, he's actually part of the whole Bane incident where, like when Bane breaks Batman's back, Bruce Wayne's out of commission for a while.
Yeah.
So he gets Azrael or Jean-Paul Valet, I think is his name, and he becomes Batman for a while, and then he gets a little too crazy about that, and then Nightwing takes over as Batman for a while as well.
So is he from the League of Shadows?
No, I think he's part. Or oh god, I forget Azrael's.
I know he said it in the game. I don't remember.
I haven't seen it, so I can't say.
Wow, Rexley, you're like a walking like bat.
Yeah, man.
Sweet.
Yeah, man.
Oh, here, 1 minute. Azrael. Looking him up right now.
I love me some Batman.
It says an ancient religious order is what he was like an assassin for, but it doesn't say it was the League of Shadows. I think it's just it's another, yeah. Actually, speaking of which, now to go back to Dark Knight movie, the one complaint I forgot everybody complained about was the fact that like Robin managed to figure out who Batman was. I didn't have a problem with it, but the entire world seemed to have a problem with that one.
I was like, eh.
Here's the thing in general about him. I really went into it thinking I was gonna dislike him. I didn't even know. I mean, I figured he would be Robin, but
I figured too. I didn't know, but I
That
kind of
sounds like it was going to be
yeah.
anyway.
But like when the movie started, I didn't know this for a fact, but I knew the actor was in the movie, and I just don't really care for him a whole lot. So I was already thinking, well, whoever he's gonna be, I will dislike him. And I was surprised to find out that not only did I like him in the movie, but that's actually it. I liked him in the movie. Like I was really kind of pleased with what they did with his character.
Same here.
I don't know.
Um, like here's the thing, when he mentions that he's like, I know who you are, Bruce Wayne. I think they like it's not really Nolan's fault because when you look at Nolan's like how he writes his scripts, he doesn't explain every little detail. But the problem with like 90% of the population, especially moviegoers, is they want everything answered for them explicitly.
Yeah.
And when things aren't answered explicitly, they have like this huge panic attack and just complain. I think it was fairly obvious that like when he was talking about when he was young, he saw Bruce Wayne and he kind of knew something was up with him. I think it was the fact that like he had an inkling who he was, and when he became a cop and had tons more resources and had the time to go look this stuff up, he probably managed to piece it together then.
Well, see, I disagree. I thought it was painfully obvious, and people should just stop complaining and having panic attacks that he called Miss Cleo and asked her to look in her crystal ball, um,
Probably.
and I think the Kool-Aid guy and Captain Crunch play into it somehow. I haven't quite figured that part out yet because he doesn't spell things out for you. You have to kind of figure it out yourself a little bit.
But like Rexley, I don't know if you read the comics, but I think one of the Robins in one of the comics figured out Batman's identity at like the age of 13.
Yeah, it's
And the
crap.
whole point,
Yes,
the
it
whole point
was.
of the whole point of the Robin in the movie is he was supposed to be kind of like a blend of all three Robins.
Yeah.
Like he had the like intelligence of this one, and like the this and that. So I think that was the point. But like I know people who like complained as we were walking out of the theater. I'm like, ugh. Ugh. I did one of my trademark groans where I'm like, I can't put up with stupidity any longer.
I see you're just kind of disregarding my theory completely.
Hey, you know what? I am all for the Miss Cleo, Captain Crunch, Kool-Aid triumvirate, but I'll have to look into it more.
You know, I'm just gonna tease this. Maybe this will have a place on the next podcast, but probably not. But
Probably not.
when you mentioned people complaining on the way out of the door, that brought me in my mind. It just raised another topic we could discuss for probably an extra half an hour, but we're not going to. Which is, and it's not game related, by the way, so it would fit swimmingly in this podcast right now.
Swimming. Never mind.
It's I was thinking of Prometheus, but I shall hold my tongue.
I love that movie, but we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, on the next gaming podcast, we'll discuss that.
Let's talk about more movies because nothing will happen in the game industry. No, I'll definitely. I think we'll have more. Hopefully, there'll be more stuff to talk about gaming related next podcast.
Can I just say, since we're still talking about Prometheus-ish, I saw in the comic book store the other day. Hang on, this is good. I went to the comic book store yesterday and I saw a 2-issue series from 1997 2003. It was Batman and Aliens,
I like
like
it.
the Xenomorphs. It's pretty bad, honestly.
Crossover?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I like that.
No. Here's the thing. Okay, never. I'll say it later. Forget it.
Oh man, it's on Wikipedia. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, go look it up. It's hilarious.
I like that you started that with hold on, this is going to be good.
It is gonna be.
I'll make sure to put that in like the liner notes for the podcast, like, and make sure to listen to an hour and 20 minutes when we finally have the first good thing to talk about.
Oh, this is actually like amazing. Apparently, they came out with a Batman Aliens crossover, and then they released one called Batman Aliens 2, so it's another crossover.
Hmm?
And then there's a fan film where Batman fights predators and aliens. It's called Batman Dead End. And then there's Batman versus Predator, which is a comic book in which he fights a predator. This is just amazing. Like I had no idea this existed.
I'll
And
wait.
then
I'll wait for the
guys,
feature length
this
live
this
action
is
movie of Superman versus Rainbow Bright.
no, dude. This gets better. They released in I think 2007. Oh man, get ready for this: Superman and Batman versus Alien and Predator. That's just golden right
There
there.
can only be one.
How
Oh,
is
man.
Marvel not getting in on this?
Who knows? It's a mystery.
Missing the train on this one, man.
Well, see, Marvel's waiting for their Marvel versus Pokemon crossover.
Did anyone else at first freaked out when the trailer for Man of Steel was on in the theaters? Did anyone think that was Aquaman for like a second?
Yeah, I totally would have the whole thing about fishing your father's.
Yeah.
husband.
I was like,
Oh man,
God.
it's Aquaman finally.
This better not be Aquaman.
I was gonna say, Pascal, you watched Entourage, right? They should really just
That's
troll the world and
That's
get James Cameron to make an Aquaman film.
I mean, that's what I thought of. I was like, oh, here's that movie that Entourage has been. And I leaned over at the very beginning of the trailer, like when I first had that thought. And and I went with my son to go see Batman, so that's where we saw the trailer. So I leaned over, and being the adult, and I was trying to act like I know exactly I know everything about like superhero movies and this and that. So I mentioned to him, oh, check this out. This is Aquaman. This will be cool. No, it's not Aquaman. I don't know what I'm talking about. Apparently, I'm full of shit.
That's hilarious.
Mm.
Ah,
Yeah.
good times. Good times on PodBytes.
We'll just call it movie bites.
Pretty much. We'll probably end up talking about more games in our well played podcast whenever that goes up.
How about if I just edit out all the non-game related stuff and bring Pod Bites down to about 15 minutes?
I'm fine with that.
No. I'm just curious to see how long it would be.
I'm rooting for you, Pascal, if you ever do that.
You'll be what?
I'll be rooting for you.
Rooting?
I'll be rooting.
You can send you can send your some prize to me over here in Florida. Just give me-
I'll make you co-owner of Florida.
Yeah. I'll take a tax break.
All right.
A free mocha latte at like Starbucks. I'll take it. All right. Well, let's bring this episode to. I think the episode ended 40 minutes ago, but let's bring it to an official close. We've already done all the contact information, so there's nothing really left other than just to say see you later. Thanks for listening, I guess.
Sorry to endure all this stuff, but I hope you had fun.
Sorry to make you listen to all of this.
This really is the apologetic podcast.
One final all-encompassing apology. So sorry about this podcast.
We're just gonna sound like a bunch of neurotic people who just have to apologize all the time.
It was good fun. It was very enjoyable. But
No,
maybe
it's fun.
talking-
I was gonna reiterate, if you have any questions or even topics to bring up, definitely email them to somebody who works at our site.
email your questions, topics, comments, concerns, love letters.
FCC violations?
Yep.
Will we accept panties or no?
Nope.
Oh,
Well, we don't have a PO box yet, but when we do, we'll definitely take those. So
If
hold
they can
those
do-
off.
If they can figure out a way to email them,
Yeah.
that's fine.
don't
they
throw them
can.
away yet. You'll be able to send those soon. Oh, and if you know what the hell what I was quoting earlier, leave your answers in the comments section. Remember what it was, right?
Yes, I do. I know what it is.
I will drive this point home if it kills me.
I know what it is. I think.
And so on and so on. All right. Okay. With that said, all right. Thanks for joining me, Sean Rexley, and thanks for listening, everybody else. All right. See you guys later. Have a good one.
Bye. They should make another like old school text adventure game.
I love those. I don't know about Pascal here, but Pascal's jumping at anything that has the word adventure in it, apparently.
Okay. I'll stop that now.
Nope. We're gonna find. I
Okay.
gotta find you like the shittiest adventure game, and be like, oh, it says adventure right in the genre. You gotta play it.
Pascal, you make a great hobbit.
I make a great hobbit.
Great hobbit who jumps at the sound of adventure.
Oh, okay. I thought this was some kind of reference to my physical appearance or something.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't-
I don't know what you look like, but are you really like short or something? Like,
No.
oh, no. That's what I was thinking.